Welcome, everyone, to the PIPCAST 3000. It is a bi-weekly podcast every other Sunday where we talk about gaming and Fallout and other cool mediums that we perhaps are consuming at the time. Today, I'm joined by two individuals. My co-host.
Hi, I'm BADCompanySarge. I awkwardly introduced myself.
Did I mention I'm Caedo Genesis? Did I say that already?
I mean, they might have worked it out at this point. It's like 28 episodes.
They haven't figured it out now.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should do it again. And our special guest, returning since February of last year, NELSAR.
Hey, how you guys doing? I haven't been here for a while. Times move on fast, and I feel like I'm stuck in the same place. So
it's way too fast. Yeah. Those who don't know, NELSAR, we met through a mutual streaming friend, and we just play a lot of video games together now. And you might see or hear his likeness in the Caedo's Casualties series quite often. Because
I yell a lot.
Because we both yell a lot when we play together, and it turns out to be some pretty hilarious stuff. And also patrons get to see even more, like the Neverwinter Night stuff and whatever.
Oh yeah,
that was really stupid.
I like the gang hideout one.
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to say anything else about like what you do, NELSAR.
At the moment, nothing, to be honest. I want to start working on more. I'm working on writing at the moment, which I don't really want to reveal because I think it's not good. So
That's the case with all writing.
it's gotten better though, so I might at another time I might like post my Instagram, social media, and all that stuff.
Okay.
And you guys can check it out.
Like
but for right now,
what?
just work.
Am I allowed to ask like what kind of writing it is? Is it like
It's
on
more
the creative side, or
it's more on the creative side, yeah. So
Okay.
musical stuff and all that,
okay,
and less so like writing a book.
right?
My grammar's terrible, so I wouldn't
That's
recommend myself to write a book.
But that's okay. That's what editors are for.
Oh, yes, good point.
Hire somebody and be like, hey, correct me.
Fix my problems.
Fiverr.com, everyone. Not sponsored.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, those I didn't even go over the freaking comment thing that I wanted to do.
We've got enough stuff now.
We got enough stuff. Okay, so we want to kind of highlight comments that people make on the PIPCast itself in future PIPCasts, so we're more engaging with you guys in the comment section, because we do read what you say. We just don't always reply to it, and it's nice to have that communication and stuff like that. So I'll throw one up here really quick.
Bleh! Comment.
Because I think because I think it's still a good idea. Let's do the one from I think Against All Odds did a really good one. And Against All Odds has been like one of the most active people on my channel of all time. So shout out to you, dude. But this comment here says, another great episode, guys. This is from our last episode of the PIPCast 2 Sundays ago. He said, I would agree with Caedo on the Fallout topic. And crap, I don't remember what our Fallout topic was.
Which faction is best for the waste? No, choice and consequence. Choice and consequence.
Choice and consequence, yeah.
Best example of it in a Fallout game.
Yeah, and his pick was Paradise Falls. Both sides changed the game in small and big ways, depending on your choice, either by destroying them or joining them. And he said you've been playing Outer Worlds and having a blast. So that's good stuff. Yeah, shout out to you, Against All Odds. We hope to do this more in the future. It's a new year, so we're throwing all kinds of ideas out there to see if they stick. I made a TikTok account, and
oh god,
people in my Discord started immediately judging me.
I completely missed that.
You did?
I'll have to just judge you live here.
Yeah.
That's what I was being pinged about. Okay, I literally read just the pings first thing when I woke up, and it made no sense, so I just moved on.
Yeah, I don't know. NELSAR, have you tried TikTok out at all, or are you?
Yes, I don't understand it.
I'm trying to so hard.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, what is happening? This is just a screen of more screens. What is it, am I in the Matrix? Just watching people. It hurts my head.
And I think maybe is it good or bad when the responsible adult side of me is just like, how much freaking data is this going to be using? When all the home screen is another video, like, and you hit back and it switches to another video and stuff like that. Holy crap, dude. It's, oh my goodness.
This is the perfect app for the new generation. It's just with no attention span whatsoever.
Zero attention span. Every 60 seconds is something new. But like as a creator, it's a good practice to like every once in a while just, you know, take a risk, make a new account somewhere and try it. Just to see if you can use that as a platform to promote the stuff that you make.
It is a good idea.
Because otherwise you could plateau for 2 years. Speaking also from personal experience. But one of the things that I saw like mentioned and is that TikTok was planning on doing like a gaming kind of section thing, and I have no idea how they're going to be able to do that. Nice part is, compared to Instagram, you can actually upload from your browser as long as you're logged in from your phone. It's still weird, but you can upload from your browser.
What?
With TikTok.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Which is a plus in TikTok's favor for me. I mentioned in my Discord that it's not something viewers think about. They think about it in a viewer's sense, as opposed to if you're a creator, you think about it as a promotional tool. And reminding people that there is a difference in views just on that side of things, which is why I consider just giving it a look. And I wasn't sleeping yesterday, so like I was deciding on what to do with myself, but didn't want to like jump into another game like right after I finished The Witcher 3. So I was like, I should accomplish something because I spent way too many hours playing The Witcher 3. Have you guys tried something like that, Sarge?
I kind of feel like I'm the old man here.
Mr. Flip Phone over here.
I mean, he can't find his phone. He can't even find his phone.
I don't have a flip phone. My phone's much older than that. Flip phones weren't around.
It's a brick.
It's a brick Nokia I own as my phone.
Oh, it's a Nokia. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, with like £10 pay-as-you-go credit.
How does that phone should be in a museum? How does it even work anymore?
It might not work. I don't know where it is. No, I don't get all the modern stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest of us as well, so I have no excuse for that. Like, I should have been growing up with all of this stuff, I'm sure, but it's all just weird to me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. Damn these young'uns and their tocs and their Vine ticking or chat.
If you showed that phone to a kid, they'd think you're a time traveler. Would you come from the future?
Yeah.
Were you John Connor?
Yeah. This kind of jumped into like a topic immediately, and I wasn't kind of really expecting that. But that's podcasts, everybody.
Yep. It only took like 3 minutes to get completely sidetracked and ignore the entire write-up.
Yeah. So, hey Sarge, what's the tip of the day and the news topics we're gonna talk about?
The tip of the day. You put embrace uncomfortable mechanics.
Yeah.
Which I almost disagree with. But we'll come back to that in a second, because for news topics, there'll be all the stuff you can see on screen now. We're going to talk a little bit about Google Stadia/Stadia. Wasteland Remastered and Final Fantasy VII have some trailers. And Red Dead 2 had a hacker problem, which I haven't actually looked at yet. That's one thing I haven't gone over. Fallout 76 had a hacker problem, but they've been fixing it, and we'll go over that. Wastelander's reputation system literally just got announced at time of recording. And there's stuff going on with Blizzard, which is legal, and I might go all legalese on that. And then we've got a Fallout topic, but we talk about card games and other mini-games and things like that. Caedo, now please explain why you have put this tip of the day here.
Why ever do you ask, Sarge?
Embrace uncomfortable mechanics just seems wrong. It's like advising someone to just, prod nails occasionally. It's fun.
It's maybe I worded it wrong. What I was trying to get across by writing the embracing of uncomfortable mechanics is things that are outside your comfort zone, not necessarily on the frustrating side, because I know that I figure that the thing that you jumped to when reading that would be the thing that you were dealing with about an hour ago.
Swimming.
Or a little bit more. Yeah, trying to swim in The Witcher 3 with keyboard controls.
Swimming, it's not even the controls. It's the fact that it's like almost pitch black down there. And you've got like no sensors or anything to go with. Everything's just muffled. And the minimap isn't all that helpful when you're trying to go into a rock, and then Geralt goes up to the side and he doesn't have the upper body strength to lift himself out of the water. It's... The controls were the least of my concerns there.
There's also drowners.
Yeah. The drowners honestly weren't a problem. Like, I was swimming around with them. Drowners were like... nothing.
And once you learn about the crossbow thing, it gets infinitely easier.
Oh, I've got no bolts in my crossbow. I've not bothered using it.
It's got
anymore.
infinite standard ones.
Not for me, it hasn't. It
What?
doesn't fire anymore.
Did you break your crossbow somehow?
I got a new one as well after I thought it was broken, and that one doesn't work either. It's just dead.
Well, it sounds like you're not the most prepared Geralt.
It doesn't matter. I just circle strafe everything and they die.
Mine never was. I just went Brondo sword skilled mode.
Yep.
I never brought anything.
I mean, if you're just good enough, you don't need to prepare.
Exactly.
That's true,
my
I
method.
suppose. Yeah. if you go full in red tree, like it'll probably stop. Getting red mutagens though is like a super pain in the ass.
Is it?
Yeah, I didn't have a very easy time finding enough red mutagens early on.
You're clearly not slaughtering every living being you come across.
I absolutely was.
What about all the innocent people? They might have red mutagens on them.
I don't think they do, Sarge.
You don't know until you kill them.
Okay.
That is a good point, though. You do get a lot of green mutagens, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly green. Like half as much blue, and then half of that for red.
It's red.
So something that's outside of your comfort zone. I did this for the longest time. I was a bit of a purist in playing Fallout, which was not using chems and stuff like that. But then when Fallout 4 came out and all the different like types of chems that your character could use and buffed your attributes and all this crazy stuff, absolutely awesome. And Psychobuff is like my go-to now.
Yeah, but like speaking of uncomfortable mechanics, I mean, you know me, I like Dark Souls and everything, and that is like the king of uncomfortable mechanics, because it never really explains what it wants you to do properly.
Die. It wants you to die.
Which is why Sekiro is a good game as well, because Sekiro is the game that is all about uncomfortable mechanics. You have to know when to jump, you have to know when to parry, you have to know when to duck or slide or anti-grapple, and if you don't get those mechanics down, you are going to die all the time. Because you're gonna they have monsters that hard counter you. It's like rock paper scissors.
Yeah, it's the difference between like mashing and then like knowing what you're doing or having the finesse.
Exactly. Yeah, and it surprised me how many people thought Sekiro was that much more difficult than Dark Souls, because in Sekiro at least it tells you what it wants you to do. It gives you signals. And Dark Souls is like, figure it out. You can try to parry the giant monster if you want. You might be able to, or you might just get crushed and one-shot it immediately.
Yeah. Remember where your campfire was, because you're probably going to get one-shotted.
Yes. Yeah. But once you learn it, though, it makes the game so much more fun. So learning those mechanics, I think, is definitely a need if you want to enjoy the game fully.
Yeah.
Instead of just avoiding it.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's a good example, too, because it's in all different genres of games. Learning the uncomfortable bits sometimes just enriches the experience as a whole, or learning the stuff that's not a main aspect of the game, but makes the rest of it easier once you learn it.
Yeah, kind of like life, except I don't really want to do it in life because it's hard. It's so hard.
I'm gonna be extra tired.
But no, that can apply to almost any genre of video games. It's good advice.
I honestly could not think of anything else for the for the tip of the day. So anyway, on to the news topics. That we're gonna start with a disappointment for Google, I suppose, but probably something we kind of foresaw anyway, which was Google Stadia not really having any momentum anymore.
Yeah. It's like there's not been any new games announced recently, and in general, the platform's not been like praised all that much. Nothing seems to be happening with it. And it's just like, okay, anything gonna happen in the future, or is it just slowly going to die and the final few adopters just stop playing entirely?
And I saw murmurings of like early adopters or founders of the Stadia just being like, nothing's really happening after the fact. Like, and a lot of people were saying it was already like a tone deaf approach on Google's side. Like,
yeah, it really was.
Not knowing who their actual audience for this was. Like, those of us who have created content for a particular audience kind of know, like, a lot of times what they're after, right? But this doesn't seem like it was the case.
Yeah.
It was just like, gaming's a thing, streaming's a thing, let's combine them and be the first, but they're not really.
Yep. It was too advanced for the most casual of people, and not at all needed for anyone who was actually, like, involved in gaming in some way, because consoles already have, like, a huge foot market, so it's not like it's... Although consoles obviously do cost a decent amount, it's not like they're so ridiculously expensive that you'd go, oh, I want to get this Google Stadia experimental prototype instead, because then I'll never have to upgrade and everything will be perfect, and I'll be living in the pixie dust dream world. No, nobody was really thinking like that.
That's a good imagination.
Well, I don't get what they're... And then I don't get their incentive for people to get on, like, oh, we'll do 10 more exclusivity games. But, like, that's not the issue.
Yeah.
Do you not get it, Google?
Yeah. It was you get, like, 3 free months of part of Premier Edition, I guess, which is normally, like, a $9.99 a month, like, subscription thing on top of it. Which, if it was just the subscription service, you could use the hardware you already have, like, that would be, like, great. But it's you have to get their hardware, and it's only got a tiny limited number of games still. Yeah. And they're even teasing games that aren't even out yet. Baldur's Gate 3, for example. Cyberpunk. Like, this... it says player favorite games out of console, and it shows Cyberpunk and Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, obviously some of the games on here are actually out, with a heavy leaning towards Tomb Raider games too.
Yeah,
which are...
it seems that the games they've got are relatively old in terms of gaming now, where they're like all over a couple of years old now, nothing really all that new. And then they've got some stuff coming in the future. And the start of the year anyway is pretty quiet for games for the most part. But if you're on PC, there's tons of indie stuff. Even on Xbox and PS4, there'll be a release or two each month, regardless. And you've got probably a huge back catalogue of games, because there's literally thousands of games you can play on the current consoles, rather than like the 20, 30 odd you can play on Stadia.
Yeah. It's just...
I don't... It's just bad. It's just bad.
It was just a poor move. Like, one adjustment could probably make it, like, outstanding, but I couldn't tell you what that would be. Like, I'm not the...
I think you need more than one move, to be honest. It's just the foundation of it is cracked all around.
Yeah. And only for people with good internet. People in rural areas are screwed. And then even when you do have good internet, like, sometimes you'd suffer from, like, massive input lag or...
It feels like it was monitored. It feels like it was marketed towards Japan or something. Because Japan's all about that, like, wireless connection and all that handheld gaming.
Yeah.
And they actually have the internet to do, and infrastructure to actually pull it off.
Yeah.
I suppose if, like, 2 of the biggest gaming companies weren't based in Japan, then it might have done better.
Yeah.
You'd think.
That's a possibility. But yeah, that's we just wanted to touch on that. There's 2 links we put in the description. It was both Tech Radar's review and the Google Stadia main page, and you can see how barren it is when you go to the games section. Count the games that aren't out yet in comparison to the ones that they actually offer, and it's such a small library.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not good. And it's been out. How long has it been out? I don't even have a time on this.
2-3 months, I feel like.
Yeah, that's it. But then.
Yeah.
Feels about right. But yeah,
Lots of murmurings of we're just paying to beta test it kind of thing, which I get really tired of companies doing that to people. I mean, Sarge and I have firsthand experience with the game that we covered.
You're talking Fallout 76 here, but the thing with that is something I can talk about as a whole tangent, but I'm going to try and keep it brief. Fallout 76 is part of an established franchise, Fallout, which as a franchise is huge. Stadia is the first entry in this thing.
Yeah, and that's what makes a huge difference too.
Yeah. If this was like, if the PS5 worked in like the same way as the Stadia, there would still be a lot of sales. Because there are lots of people who are PlayStation loyalists or whatever, who will go for a PlayStation console, even if it like launches with only like a dozen games and has like various problems, there's gonna be enough people already just hammering to get at it. Stadia had nothing before it. It was, hey, this is new, and because something's new, people are like, oh, we've never heard of it before. We're gonna just judge it as is for the minor amount of people who actually pay attention to it. So you're
I think
fighting
they should
a
have
losing
named it
battle.
something else too.
Google free money. Hey, would you like a free money? And you're like, yeah, I'd love free money. Free money's great.
I wonder like just another word that rhymes with Google, like the Google schmoogle or something like that.
The Google Moogle, obviously.
Yeah.
Just get all the Final Fantasy games on there.
There you go.
That way you,
Moogle.
yeah, that way you go into an audience, have like a little Moogle casing for it all. That way you've got an established fan base who'll be like, oh, this is really cool, and then they'll try it. Man, I say this almost every single PIPCAST.
You need a different
job. Why am I not working for this company?
Hire Sarge.
Why has everyone not hired me yet?
We've linked his resume down below. Hire him. Okay. Well, I guess we can move to the Wasteland Remaster launch trailer. That one was kind of unexpected for me because the the title of it is kind of misleading because it says launch trailer, but it's just kind of still a teaser for like when it actually releases. This is more like a pre-order trailer.
Yeah.
It shows the it shows the opening cutscene, I think, of the game, and then like a few shots of in-game footage and stuff like that. And it looks very much like a D&D dungeon board type thing, with what you call like first-person RPG combat, which is, you know, very classic, because the original game came out in '87.
Wait, it doesn't have first-person RPG combat.
It does.
What?
Yeah.
Where?
I'm rewatching that because I did not see anything like that when I went through.
Yeah, if you look at the image with the rat, that's actually a bunny, I guess. It shows the combat log.
Yep. That's not first-person RPG combat. That's like old-school text-based combat stuff.
Okay.
When you say first-person RPGs, people are obviously going to think like modern Fallout and Skyrim and every other game
Okay,
like
sorry.
that.
I'm going from the angle of what was the other name for the Mother games? I forgot.
Mother games?
Like Mother 3 and stuff like that.
Oh, I have no idea.
Where Ness came from. That horrible child.
What are you talking about? He's great in Smash.
Smash, yeah.
Smash.
Smash.
But yeah, looks like a text box.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so text-based, combat-oriented, very
There we go.
RPG heavy stuff. Morrowind without the first person. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get why you're not trying to at least compare it in some way to like actual text-based stuff combined with like old school Fallout, because that's what it basically is. It's a mix mash of Fallout 1 and like Zork. Smash them together, you get Wasteland.
So I'm not familiar with Zork, so I couldn't make that.
Man, you really are young.
Me?
Back in my day, we grew up with just words. We didn't have these fancy graphics.
Pictures. Get out of here.
You'd be lucky if half the people in the village could read.
Yeah. Wait a minute. How far back are we?
Middle Ages. A
Yeah.
very
Okay.
long childhood.
Where we only eat bread.
The bubonic plague and Nokia was king.
So you guys know your English history well.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So we linked the trailer. You can see it down below. It doesn't show too terribly much. Like the last few seconds is like screens of the game, but that's it.
You get a 10-second action cut.
The reason for bringing it up is because Wasteland is the progenitor. Can I use that word? Does that word make sense?
Precursor
of the Fallout franchise. So if it wasn't for Wasteland, Fallout wouldn't be a thing. So it's important to go back and check and see how far it's come, I guess, or something like that. And also, In Exile are cool developers, so there's that too.
It's a cool little thing. If you want to know more about Fallout before it was Fallout, it's worth giving it a check.
Yeah. Well, while we were on the subject of plagues,
Good segue.
I think NELSAR mentioned this one. So did you want to start it?
Oh, the Red Dead 2 online hacker debacle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's so great. I'm glad Monster Hunter came out the time it did, because if I was still playing Red Dead, I'd be losing my mind. So apparently, hackers are plaguing the game on PC Online at the moment. So bad, so they can just spawn monsters in randomly and creatures. So you have whole towns where just bears are falling down from the sky and murdering everyone when they get back up. And then you have, like, I experienced some of this in the very beginning, where when I get loaded into a session and everyone gets teleported to one spot constantly, and we're all just ramming into each other, all the horses and people that are there on the server, like 50 people, get imploded into one zone of the map, and everyone's just dying. And there's nothing we can do about it. People are I've gotten flung into the air randomly and lit on fire. I'm just flying to the sky and I'm on fire. But the worst one is when people can just take your currency away. So gold is a premium currency in Red Dead Online. And apparently these hackers have an ability to either give you a bunch of gold or take away a bunch of gold. So you see your money counter and your gold counter just ticking down, and there's nothing you can do about it, which is terrible, because I've actually paid like $20 for like an Outlaw Pass, or $10 actually, and it was fun. But if I pay $10 and I lose all that gold immediately, I'm going to be very pissed, and I imagine a lot of people are as well.
Oh, I'm sure, especially the ones that play like, more consistently or every day or every other day.
Like where this game is their Monster Hunter world, and they just
and invest more the time we invest in a Monster Hunter, or Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah, and imagine Escape from Tarkov. I'd lose all my stuff. I'd be mad. So generally, right now, I think Rockstar's kind of slow to deal with hackers, because GTA Online has so many hackers all the time. Yeah. So I'm afraid if this game's actually going to get fixed at all, and I feel bad for people that want to play this game. So that's generally the news of it. Hackers are rampant, and Rockstar is turning a blind eye to it. I hope they actually fix it, unlike GTA.
Same.
That's the reason why I don't play GTA Online.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because part of the lifespan of GTA and Red Dead is the online features, but if those don't work, then it can have a horrible reverse effect.
Yeah, exactly.
For players and their interests.
But yeah, that's just a general news. Stay away from Red Dead until you see Rockstar fix it, because
Red Dead Online.
Red Dead, the regular single player is fun. Play that. Yeah. I love that. That made me cry. So that's a good game. But if you want to do online, just stay away from it for now, or at least don't invest too much into it.
Yeah.
You can still play it. Just don't purchase any gold or anything like that.
So what was your coolest moment in Red Dead single player?
In single player?
Yeah.
I was walking down a path in the swamps, and this is like in Saint Denis. There's an area, there's a town, like a city, the first city in this area, called Saint Denis. And before you get there, you have to walk through the swamp area, and it's gigantic. And I remember seeing a dude hanging from a tree, and I was like, okay, why is there a random dead guy hanging from a tree? So I shoot him down, And as I approached his body, a group of swamp people with knives that make very scary zombie noises start rushing at me from out of nowhere. And I'm freaking out, so I duck out of the way, whip out my shotgun, and start hip firing these zombie men left and right. And that moment itself was very fun because it was nighttime. I can hear crickets and animals. It was just very immersive. And I was playing at first person too, because this is one of the times I've played in first person. I usually play in third person. So it was just a fun experience to have. It was just a scary moment that I was not expecting.
That's cool.
That's one of those moments. I also got eaten by a bear. That wasn't that fun. Bear came out of nowhere.
Yep. Sometimes happens. The wildlife is terrifying.
But Red Dead does have a lot of those moments. It's made very well to have those moments. But yeah.
On the flip side, sometimes there's bad moments in games. Mm-hmm. And
Preach.
Blizzard Activision is having another problem after a remaster, re-release. They call it Reforged Warcraft 3. And where do we start? Where do we start with this?
Oh my God! Not Blizzard again.
I mean, let's go over the actual thing here, which is just it's user policies and legal stuff within Warcraft 3. So the original game had a whole custom game thingy where you could make your own modes and fiddle around with settings and things and have a bit of fun with it. This still appears...
Sorry, I wanted to mention that's been a thing for Blizzard RTSs for ages.
Yeah. From what I'm reading of the article, that's still possible, but they're being a bit more strict on the rules when it comes to their user policy, so you can't use copyrighted material from third parties. So they put as an example here, you can't have custom games like Anime Fight, DBZ Tribute, and Pimp My Mario. So you can't just be picking assets from other games and throwing them into there without there being the possibility for consequences. That is just the possibility, keep in mind. People can get away with this stuff if Blizzard just decides not to act on it, which honestly would not surprise me, because unless they're actually getting in actual trouble for it, they only need to issue they just need to say, you can't do this, and then if anyone does it, not react if nobody complains, which often happens.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's obviously, this is definitely from a marketer's standpoint that they're going about all these rulings and the clauses and that they have written up for people that want to play Warcraft.
For sure.
And it's sad to see.
Yeah.
Compared to what Warcraft or what Blizzard was many years ago.
Yeah. But
yeah.
This is all real standard nowadays. This is not weird in the slightest.
It's standard stuff, but maybe it's easier to compare to something like the creation kit, where people can still freely. It's probably through BattleNet that you can only share maps to at this point now. But with Bethesda games and modders in the community, why it's become so successful already in the first place is because that freedom is more allowed, I guess. Because we have things like the Nexus and stuff like that people can just make stuff and you can put it in your game. Whereas in this case, what Blizzard is trying to do is claim ownership, or whatever the legal jargon is, claim ownership to whatever you create there, and basically your moral rights are out of the question too. If something you make becomes popular enough, Blizzard can claim it as their own without even allowing you so much as a credit, which is their counter to Dota 2's existence. So I can definitely see why people are really mad, because I had my share of like creating and playing custom games in like StarCraft and stuff like that, and like I'd go to places like Starforge and whatever to get custom maps. Like I love playing my defense maps and stuff like that. But the people would in a way, at the very least, get credited and stuff like that. You could see it in the mission brief and whatever. But now that's another one of those things that's kind of up in the air, where it's just like, do I even get to see who made this kind of thing? Or do they continue getting credit if it really does take off as a game mode that can be turned into an actual game? And I don't know, that It's the risk you take in using somebody else's tools too, I suppose.
Yeah, but also I don't really get the fear of another Dota 2. I mean, I get it. Like, they're losing money. Obviously, they want more money. So I can see why they're
more money.
this. They want more money. But it's just like they had their own MOBA, which was HOTS.
Heroes of the Storm, yeah.
Heroes of the Storm. And that was actually a really good game. It was starting to become an entity of its own. It was starting to gain traction. People were actually willing to watch it on Twitch.
It was like Blizzard's Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Like that's what I saw it as.
Yeah, it pretty much was. And it was a fun game. The attraction of it was being able to play as Thrall or being able to play as the villains of Diablo, like Asmodan or Diablo, him or herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just they stopped it when it was gaining traction. They've shut down the esports like tournaments, which out of nowhere, out of the blue, which is another story in of itself, which was messed up because it took a lot of people out of their jobs and what they were training for years. But it's just weird. If they were gonna not want another Dota 2, they had one in their hands and they dropped the ball essentially. And I don't know what's with this clause, because they could have another one on their hands, but they could also just talk to the person that made it. Like if someone made another popular custom maps.
Yeah.
Talking when you get to millions of dollars, suddenly going, hey, do you want to do this in good faith, rarely goes all that well when that much money is on the line. It's often a case of whoever decides to be kind of like the person to lawyer up first will win. So they're preempting it. And I've got an analogy here. Imagine that one of the biggest industries in the world was making forts, like you did as a kid and stuff, with like cushions and pillows and stuff. Imagine that's like huge, multi-billion-dollar industry. You have someone come over, and you are a successful fort person. You make forts, you make a lot of money out of it. You're not like the best out there necessarily, but you do well. And a friend comes over, and you're like, oh yeah, we can just hang out and stuff. And they just, for a bit of fun, make a fort in your house with like the stuff you've got there. And that fort suddenly gets tons of attention. And they go, well, I made this, so this is mine. I'm getting like all the revenue and stuff from it, and I'm going to just recreate this fort and do it myself. That's all me. And you get cut out of it entirely.
Yeah.
That is what Blizzard is scared of.
Yeah.
They want their fort, which was made at their house, with all of their stuff. They want the money from that, because it was made with all of their stuff. And that's the problem, really. Because if both sides aren't always going to just be nice to each other, it has to go into legal terms. And legal terms are never nice. Legal terms are, this is ours, you're either going to jail or just giving us all your money.
Yeah, that's true. They want that fort money.
Yeah, they want the fort money. And giving players tools in the first place was probably a first misstep then. Like, because now the knee-jerk reaction, especially from like the custom map community and stuff like that, I saw Angry Joe's like sum up, because there's a lot to it. There's a bunch to it. Who's the tall dude in Angry Joe's crew? I forgot. Alex, yeah. He was doing a very good job of summing up like what the nitty-gritty of what all the issues were with the Warcraft 3 Reforged, because it wasn't just the ownership of maps, but because Reforged kind of took the place of the original one, like all of those previous like original creations are all gone.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my goodness. So people are forced at this point too, like if they want to go back and play those, they have to like get a pirated version of like Warcraft 3 and play it that way. Even if that's I'm sure it's possible. I'm sure it's possible. But like that's not ideal for Blizzard either, obviously. But
yeah,
it was kind of just a result, or another result of like this bad idea, I guess. But another thing is, they're not giving like once you have started up the game, you can't get a refund, and people have been mad about like not getting what they saw like in I think it was like a 2018 E3 or a BlizzCon presentation. They saw like these really cool new looking cutscenes like in engine, but they weren't in the game at all in that way. So
Yeah, they were just really downgraded versions of what they've shown.
But the main thing is, if you really want to see like the mess that has occurred, this is probably on the level of EA, I would guess. If you just
people got anthemed.
Just go into just go into the Blizzard subreddit and just browse. Like you'll get the gist.
It's weird. It's like Blizzard's taking up the mantle of EA's. EA's slowly calming down to like backing away slowly, and then Blizzard's just coming in, kicks the door down. It's like, we'll take the spot gladly.
It's EA steps off of their throne, and Blizzard's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't spot check that, did you?" And they just sit down.
Then they put on the little silly crown, like Burger King crown hat, that's right next to it, and then now we have reigning Blizzard.
That's this year's jester,
the court fool who's turned king. But
yeah, I think that's enough of that one, because we can then. I don't have a segue for this one because it's more nice to look at and exciting to listen to. There was a Final Fantasy VII Remake official theme song trailer released, and it has a lot more game footage also. If you've been following the God, I can't do words now.
Fallout.
Sarge, take it from here.
You kind of just dunked me in with nothing there.
Do you guys like songs? You guys like really good songs? You guys like
songs?
Japanese stuff?
Oh yeah, I love like J-rock and stuff. Surely that's what they've got playing as the theme song for the trailer, like some 1OK Rock or something, right?
Totally. Do you like Final Fantasy?
I do. I really like the old Final Fantasy games, but I don't actually like the new ones very much. I'm not digging the whole new combat style. I prefer the old ones myself.
Well, too bad for you, because we get more of that. But the trailer looks really good.
Yeah, so visually, the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer does look cool. There's some nice stuff in there. As alluded to in that little, what's it called? Improv bit that NELSAR and I just did. Such comedy geniuses are we! Ha 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 ha! Yeah, I keep seeing like the news for Final Fantasy VII and stuff, and every new thing makes me want to play the game less, but also be happy that other people are going to try it out who wouldn't try the old game. Because for me, I just want to play the old Final Fantasy VII, because I still haven't completed it. I think I probably said that about a year ago. Give me like 10 more years, I'll get through it all. But I just want to play the old one. I got no real interest in playing the new one, but cool.
I think the trailer is definitely catered towards people like me, because I'd be down to play it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be down to play the old version.
Yeah, if you don't have that, that's the I guess the beauty of like remakes and remasters when they're actually done with effort, as opposed to our previous example. You could have used that as a segue, man. They are trying, visually at least, trying to do justice to the franchise. And I don't know if that's ever going to be reached because there's such a high expectation at this point.
Yeah.
But the main thing for me was, it's part of my nostalgia, but I never got to be a collector at that young age. So I ended up getting, the most expensive collector's edition, pre-ordering it for this one, because I'm like, well, new merch is cool. So, but when it comes to the game itself, I get really excited when I see old characters in such high quality. Like the Red 13 was revealed in this one, if anybody cares, really. He's the fire dog type dog or cat character. Nobody really knows if he's a dog or a cat. He howls, and he also growls like a cat. So
he looks like a troll druid from WoW.
Could be that. He could just be a druid. I don't know. It's hiding his humanoid form.
Yeah.
But they also showed Hojo.
I'm a little underwhelmed by a lot of the visuals, I think, because I saw Advent Children, the movie that came out years ago, the Final Fantasy VII movie, and nothing really looks considerably better than it did in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if you did like a side-by-side comparison, you can go, oh, well, look, the hair's got like 16-bit more texture depth from the HDR color spectrum graphics 4K or whatever, but just as someone who's seen both of them, it's like, yep, that's how Cloud looks. That's still how Cloud looks like 5-10 years later. The visuals aren't going to blow me away, unfortunately. If I want the fancy stuff, I can just watch Advent Children. I got it on DVD.
It is a fun watch every so often too. I made sure to get the that what is it? Ultimate. I don't remember what it's called. It's the Blu-ray one.
All you really need is the tiny clip where Tifa goes dilly dally shilly schmally.
No.
That's it. Just have that on repeat for an hour and a half, and your life is sorted.
Japanese dubs, English subs, please.
No, because then Tifa doesn't say dilly dally shilly schmally. The best line ever.
It's not.
So good.
The best line ever is when Cloud says, "I just." Anyway, yeah, they showed. Square Enix showed a massive new trailer with a whole bunch of new stuff in it. If you're interested in the Final Fantasy VII Remake at any capacity, I think it's worth giving a look. If not, that's fine too. That's cool. You live your life.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm kidding.
Why don't we talk about more good things, huh?
Yeah, good news.
Yeah.
I like good things happening.
So here's a good thing. Bethesda's doing a good thing. They're doing several good things, actually.
Ooh.
One of them is a good thing in the real world. Another one is a good thing in a fake world. And then the other thing is just an announcement in that fake world. Okay. So starting point is, as of several days ago at this point, Bethesda was holding a 24-hour sale for Australian fire relief. I don't know if we actually got a report on what kind of proceeds they got. Does anybody have a number for that?
I haven't seen any numbers. I will say I linked this as part of, like, more of an overarching thing, where I saw, I think Destiny 2 was the first game I saw that was going on about, like, hey, buy some stuff and the profits will go to the fire relief for Australia, which is on fire, in case anyone's missed that over the past few weeks.
Yeah, Australia is in a bad way right now.
Parts of Australia, we should mention.
Parts of Australia, yeah.
I follow, like, the Fudge Muppet guys on Twitter, as well as, like, a few other Australian YouTubers. And they're all, like, absolutely fine and nowhere near the fire. But, like, almost every single day someone will be messaging them going, I hope your house isn't burnt down! Because for some people that is happening, and it does suck.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see there's been lots of video game companies, there's been, like, streamers, there's been just lots of people on the internet trying to raise money to help deal with the fire and all of that good stuff. And it's nice to see.
Yeah.
It's also nice to see other nations, firefighters, go to Australia and deal with it. It's a very
good thing.
Gracious act to do.
Yes.
So I'm glad to see people actually committing to helping another nation, which is rare.
Yep.
Nowadays it seems like, so it's good. I'm glad something good is coming out of this.
People coming together to help each other out during a time that's difficult is always nice to see.
Yeah.
En masse too. Whenever there's a tragedy going on. But I'm just kind of repeating. So.
Well, speaking of tragedies being fixed, something that's just as important, obviously, is video game worlds, where a while back, some players in Fallout 76 got their inventories hacked and stolen by nefarious, evil hackers who we all hate, and it's agreed upon. Those ones we don't like, the ones who steal stuff. But Bethesda have actually been able to sort it out, and they, first off, I can't remember if we mentioned it at the PIPCAST, but, like, on the same day the hack went live, a hotfix ended up getting put up, so they kind of did a bit of damage control then, but people still got their inventories hacked and bad things happened. But recently, they managed to sort it out so that they basically created clones of the person's character with their old inventory, which got stolen, and then community managers went into a private world, invited the players who they were giving back their stolen items to, did all of that, and gave them atoms on top of that as a kind of apology for it happening, and sorry you didn't have your stuff at this time. So they did a really good job in the end of kind of doing the right thing there. And nowadays, the whole kind of public reception of Bethesda is, oh, well, they're evil because they made an online Fallout game that wasn't very fixed at start. So it's nice to see that even though the online perception can be very negative, there's still at least some stuff in the company where they will try and do the right thing. Like, they didn't have to do this. they could have honestly got away without doing it, because it was a fairly limited number.
They could have been like, well, we made a copy of your character, but we're going to delete it, and we're going to use it as our own.
Okay, I don't think they would have done that. That would have been, like, actual supervillain kind of mentality there.
Yeah, like Blizzard.
They could have just not done anything. And not doing anything would have been easy. It would have been no work. But instead, they went to a lot of... This is going to be a lot of work they had to do for this. They've got the community managers actually going into worlds and contacting the people. They've obviously got people in the back as well actually getting the items. And it's not something that's easy, and yet they did it anyway. And I think they deserve a bit of recognition for that. It's good to see. That means that everyone who got screwed over by the hackers now gets their stuff back. And if you're listening to this, and you got your items stolen, try and get in contact with Bethesda about it. Hopefully it's not too late now, but it's worth making sure that if you did have a support ticket open with them, double check it. If not, open up a support ticket with them, and hopefully you'll be able to get your items back too. But yeah, just good news on that one.
Yeah. How I would guess they did it too would be like exporting like an older version of that player's character.
Yeah.
And then just like playing as that character, but having all their stuff, obviously, and then just transferring it right over.
That's pretty much what happened.
That's a weird way of fixing it, though, isn't it?
Oh,
it's that's a way of fixing it, like, if your friend... Like, this is like trying to give your friend his items back. Trying to fix it. This is not like someone that owns the game's way of trying to fix something.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not sure how they do it in an easier way, though.
Well, I mean, if they have the file already, wouldn't you'd assume each account has a file system in their servers, right? So couldn't they just cut and paste and just overwrite your latest file?
No, then you'd lose all the stuff you'd got in between the time.
That is true. That is a good point.
But if they just kind of reset it, you suddenly lose like a month or two's worth. No, about a month actually. It was about a month later, so yeah, about a month's worth of progress.
Yeah, if you kept playing.
Which
that is true.
Really bad.
Wow.
I guess this might be one of the few ways to fix that.
I would say, while all of us are extremely experienced programmers too, I would think that because of basically how this game was made too, like it was made based on a single player engine, so they would still probably have to use some aspects of that to get the items back to the other players.
Yeah, they have to do a modder's way of fixing things.
Yeah, which in the end it ended up working. So like I'm cool with
no
that.
complaints. It's just a funny way of fixing it. Rockstar, get your stuff together.
Rockstar.
Come on, Bethesda's even trying.
Yeah. And okay, so the final thing for 70, we had 276 topics today, huh?
Yeah. Well, one of them literally dropped about a minute before we started recording.
Just happened. Yeah.
Yeah. I was sat here waiting for it, like, cool, I'm gonna make a video on that, and then it clicked past like. It was like 4:45 it dropped, and I was like, well, it's too late for me to make a video on it now. Then like 5 minutes later the article popped up, and I was like, oh, screw you, stupid article. I was waiting for like 4 hours just for that article, so I could make a video on it on Friday, which is when we're recording this, but no, it has to go out yesterday. So if you want to hear me ramble on my own about this article we're just about to talk about, well, I put a video up yesterday. Isn't scheduling fun?
So what's the topic?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sarge?
So,
yeah, I'm ready.
Fallout 76, the Wastlanders update is upcoming at some point. We still don't have a specific date on that yet, but there is a new trailer coming out on Tuesday, so just a couple of days' time, a new trailer is coming out, so if you follow me on youtube.com/BADCompanySarge, I'll probably be analysing it, and I'm sure it will get linked in Caedo's Discord, like, someone will have to. I'll link it if no one else does, then I'll scream at everyone for not linking it. But this article goes on about a reputation system which is coming to Fallout 76, a game which currently doesn't have a reputation system because everyone's dead. So it's tough for them to kind of care about you.
Yep.
But what we see here are there's two main factions, the Settlers and the Raiders, basically good guys and bad guys, although I hope it isn't purely so basic as that. But you get to see there's 7 different kind of reputation statuses you can have, going from hostile, where I assume it's going to be attack on sight, all the way up to, oh my god, we love you, have all of our stuff. I don't think they've actually named the top one from the looks of it, so that's my guess.
I think they're more visual
Thank you.
indicator type things.
They've got names, because they have
Oh,
in
it
the
says
article...
hostile, cautious. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, neutral, friendly, ally. Like, that final one might be ally. It could be lover. Could get him real deep with the faction.
Romance an entire faction.
Yep.
This is uncouth all of a sudden.
Thanks for your final perks.
Well, I mean, you got, like, the lover's XP bonus when you slept with a partner in Fallout 4. Imagine what happens if you sleep with, like, 20 partners at once. There's gonna be, like, at least 200 extra XP.
And caps.
Oh,
and
man.
discounts.
Jeez.
And free drinks.
Man. I would kind of love it if Fallout 76 went from a you shoot everyone to win to you sleep with everyone to win. I'd be so down for that.
Like you play as like Nova from Fallout 3. You're just a you're just a prostitute.
I mean, just have that as like a charisma way to go through, because charisma in 76 right now is kind of terrible. Just,
Yeah.
Nah. Have it be, you have 15 charisma, you can sleep with anyone. And you don't have to do any fighting. When you're in bed with them, maybe they send out like a search party and they kill all the monsters for you. You just get to have a bit of fun.
Sleep your way to the wasteland.
I dig it.
That'd be pretty great.
Yeah.
If they implement that, I will be highly entertained.
Bethesda, hire me. I know,
Yeah,
I mean,
hire Sarge.
I've already had some other company I've told to hire me, but you guys can hire me as well.
Oh god.
Some
Death
developer.
Claw.
One benefit they do actually specifically say related to faction reputation, though, is that the vendors in a specific faction will have more goods on sale as you get kind of a better reputation. So max out your reputation with one faction or the other, and they might have some unique plans which the other faction doesn't have, and you might only be able to obtain by being real friendly with them. So there will be actual rewards linked to this, even if it's not like, oh, your faction reputation went up, here's 20 caps or whatever.
Yeah. And I made an immediate comparison to Outer Worlds.
But also, can you raise both of them at the same time, or is one decreases and the other one raises? Did they?
It
I'm
looks
reading
like-
through the article. I don't think it states that you can only have one faction love you.
No, I'm guessing they're separate, and likely if you help out the raiders, you'll increase reputation with them. But if the task you're doing helps out the raiders but hurts the settlers, then your raiders' reputation would increase as your settlers decreases. So there might be a way to like max them both out, or have both of them hate you. Or it might be a case of if you do a lot of real obvious stuff that favours one and disfavours the other, then maybe it will even out a bit. So we will have to wait and see for that.
I'm sure it's not going to be max out both.
No. Well, you say that. What I'm thinking is there'll be like... So, you know in New Vegas, how you could turn in... What was it? It was... You could turn in dog tags, or... What was the other one for Legion?
Legion ears.
Or ears, yeah. Dog tags or ears to basically increase your reputation. So if you just let a bunch of the things die and looted their corpses, then both factions loved you, because you're a grave robber or whatever. I bet you there'll be something like this, where if you just play it how you're supposed to, and do like the main faction quests and stuff for them, then sure, one side will like you, the other side will start to dislike you. But there's almost certainly going to be like some repeatable way to up your faction reputation with each side without hurting the other one, and that's probably how I'll end up playing, and just abusing the system to get all of the unique plans which I want.
But if not, you can just ask me to side with the other one, and then I'll give you their benefits.
I mean, I've got 5 characters.
That's true.
Way
I'm
too many
going to be.
characters.
That's not enough characters. They only allow me 5. I want more.
You want
Yeah.
all the characters.
I want all of the characters. Like my Fallout 4 thing, I purged it a while ago and I've still got like 20 characters. I'm the builds guy.
You're
I
the
need,
builds
like-
guy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I've made literally hundreds of characters within the Fallout universe.
Yeah, and I've made different characters based on the guides I was doing too.
See, I'm more into more monogamous relationships, so I'm more of a one character kind of person.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be surprised. I did just talk about sleeping with the entire wasteland.
That is a
That's
good
true.
point. Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised at all. But more
Well-
details about this. Or should be coming around February 4th, which is nice.
Yeah, which is going to be like 2 days after this goes up. which
Yeah.
is a really short time frame. Plus, Tuesdays are a free day for me, so I get to watch the trailer and immediately analyze it.
Nice.
All works out.
Yeah, it's all good.
There was something that I mentioned that was concerning
Oh yes.
to me.
What are you worried about?
But I have to read it.
No, don't inform yourself, Caedo. Just blurt it out and let us shoot you down, please. Come on.
Whenever you gain reputation with a faction, you will receive a notification that shows how much reputation you earned. The amount of reputation you earn also depends on what you did to earn it. Completing a story quest, for example, will net you a large amount of reputation, while finishing a faction daily quest or making certain choices during conversations offer additional ways to gain some rep.
Yep.
The daily quest thing worries me,
Why?
because in the past, daily quests have been daily and other challenge type things have been collectathons, very, very collectathon-y. And I'm wondering if it might become one of those extra padded things, like the final level. Like, you don't want your players to complete it in like a week or something like that. Like that,
No.
obviously, is not a good idea.
There's going to be tons of repeatable stuff. Fallout 76 is filled with RNG and repeatable tasks. There's going to be repeatable tasks in Wastelanders.
But also making something at a snail's pace is not a good idea either. So that was my concern. What can I use? The Mr. Fuzzy outfit, for example. You get
Oh yeah.
3 tokens when you do those dailies,
Yeah, buying that is totally not worth it. But
and
I
it
will say
costs
that
like
is a bit
600
of
total.
that is a bit of an extreme example. That is like pure bling, rather than main content kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that outfit is for people who play the game every day, are like level 500 or whatever, and want to do all of that stuff. I feel like the majority of the content is going to be manageable for your average gamer to get, and then there'll be upper tier rewards. How easy or hard they are to obtain and how fun everything is still remains to be seen, but I'm hopeful overall, but it won't be a complete dumpster fire.
And what kind of useful items the factions offer too? That's something I thought about as well, because obviously the Atom Shop has their utility items that they like to monetize that I am firmly against. But
Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be variants added to Wastelanders as well, that kind of like we got with the improved repair kits with the Queen.
I hope so, but who knows?
Yep,
Be nice to have some of that stuff.
We'll find out.
In game. It is all just speculation at this point.
or companions. Ooh,
We already know they're coming.
companions.
Yeah, they're going to work in a different way. We can't talk about everything about Wastelanders right now, though.
Okay.
If you start getting me on about this, I will also point out a disclaimer at this point. None of us are in the private test server,
No.
so none of us have first-hand stuff. Anyone who is in the private test server is not allowed to talk about it. They are under NDA. And
Correct.
I'm quite glad I've seen very little of it online, and the people I have seen were in my comment section and are now blocked. So, this is all speculation from us. But we've got a trailer coming a couple of days from when this comes out. I'm sure there'll be more information then. Wastelanders can't be that far away. At least within the next 5 years. Then everything will be answered.
It's a big time span. I'm gonna be
I'm
playing
just allowing
Cyberpunk
for the
then.
next 20 delays, okay?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
So
playing like
that's-
Cyberpunk multiplayer.
Yeah, well, they'll have to delay it because it'll be too close to Cyberpunk.
Oh.
Then The Witcher 4 will come out, and they'll be like, well, we can't compete with The Witcher 4, let's delay it again. Then Skyrim 2 comes out, so they have to focus on that instead. It just gets delayed for the next 5 years. That's
Quick question:
how
you
it
guys
works.
think The Witcher 4 is going to consist of a Geralt story or a Ciri story?
I haven't finished The Witcher yet, so I don't know.
I'd say a series story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what I think too.
Because she hasn't really grown. Yeah, I mean she's grown. This is like her
She has an adult body.
but like as like a monster hunter, she's
Yeah.
barely a witcher.
She's
She's not even a witcher.
if she couldn't teleport, she'd be
She'd be dead. Yeah. She didn't have the elder blood. She'd be dead by now.
if she couldn't control time, she just done.
Yeah. With her story though, they can make the Witcher. I don't even know if you can call it the Witcher anymore because she's not a Witcher. But
The Witch, will be it instead.
yeah, the Witch.
The Witchette.
I mean, you can make her story way more grand too because her powers are off the charts.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Man, speaking of powers off the charts, Anybody who hasn't played Blood and Wine needs to. Holy crap.
I haven't played
There's so much excess in that DLC that is so good. Please try it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try it.
All right. That was a good side tangent. We actually have a Fallout topic.
We do.
Who could have guessed?
PIPCAST, yes. So Sarge offered this topic, so I'll let you take it, Sarge.
Oh, I was really hoping you were just going to read out what you put here. Because
I'd be quoting you.
I literally pitched this topic to Caedo yesterday. The thought process in my mind was actually quite entertaining, because I thought to myself, I feel like I've come up with quite a few of the more recent PIPCAST topics. I should ask Caedo if he's got anything to come up with. Immediately after that, I come up with a topic, and just shout that at you instead. But Caedo's just put my topic here, which is I want to see an in-game Fallout card game, which we've kind of had before, because Fallout New Vegas had Caravan, which is a card game that only takes place in the Fallout universe. And sucks so badly. I'm just going to briefly talk about several reasons why Caravan is bad. First up, it's just a bad game. Just as a baseline, it's not particularly fun or entertaining. It's kind of complicated. It's just not very good. Let's face it. Secondly, nobody plays it.
Yep.
If you want to have a mini-game in your game, actually make it playable.
Yeah.
I know, one character who plays Caravan, and there's probably, 5.
2, 3, 4 NPCs that play
sucks.
Caravan.
Especially seeing as I'm going to be talking about other games in a little bit, and in them, almost every single person seems to play the games, because they're actual games. Finally, there's no reason to play Caravan. Playing Caravan, doesn't it, do you even win the cards? I think you win cards off of Caravan, don't you?
You win caps. I don't even think you win cards. You have to buy cards separate from vendors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you get a few caps. And New Vegas is, in my opinion, in terms of money, it's the easiest game to get rich in.
Yeah.
Money's never a problem in Vegas.
I'd say that.
So yeah, Caravan sucks, so we need to come up with a better Fallout card game right now. And obviously there have been actual real-world card games, put in here, like Blackjack, which is a good card game, which is nice to have in there. But I want to see a proper Fallout card game, similar to stuff like Gwent in The Witcher 3, which Caedo just did a guide on earlier this week, so go check that out if you haven't watched it already.
Yes. I'm very proud of it, but obviously it's so niche that it's probably going to be a slow grow.
I mean, it's a good guide, and I actually used one of the tips where you were talking about, you get to see the other player's deck by playing them, so going against them a few times gets you intel, and I was like, oh yeah, that's something I hadn't thought about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's helped me out in my recent big games, which I'll get to later. I know I personally grew up with a lot of games, the two that come to my mind straight away are Final Fantasy 8 and 9 with Tetramaster and Triple Triad, which had some sort of reason to play the card game as well, especially Final Fantasy 8, where playing cards could actually make you a god, and the speedrun for that game relies on cards.
Wow, really?
Yeah, you refine some of the cards into super powerful abilities and magic and stuff, and you just one-shot everything at super fast speed. It's crazy how powerful the card game is once you know how to...
I was going to say I didn't even consider Tetramaster as an example we could use, but you're right. That one was actually fun.
Yep. And in those games, almost every NPC you come across who's friendly will play cards with you.
Yep.
Which just makes it so easy to play the game regularly. It's incredible. So, we need a Fallout card game that you can just play with everyone, there's an actual good reason to play it, and it's fun. So, what's it going to be, guys?
Create a game right now.
Yep.
My brain is fizzing out.
I will say, I think there's two ways you can go about it, because I have thought way too much about this, so I apologise. Everyone listening, if you don't like my voice, this is the bad part. I'm not going to shut up. You can either do it as a pre-war game. I'm thinking kind of like a Hubris Comics kind of gimmicky thing with Grognak and the all Mistress of Mysteries, all of that kind of stuff.
I like that
a card
version.
game based around all of that, where it's like you find it, obviously, and then you can play it with people. Or, if, say, Fallout 5 goes chronologically and things are even more rebuilt and society's going almost more modern in how it is, then there'll be more people focusing on leisure activities, which means someone can make up a card game in the modern Fallout world, and it can spread because people aren't having to worry about fighting mutants every single day. They're in big cities and stuff now. So there's a card game in all the cities you go to, and you get to play it that way. I'm honestly not sure which one I prefer, because it does depend on how they play, but that's two different ways you can get it into the lore of Fallout with, like, no problem. Obviously, if you go for the older one, it's kind of like, oh, well, why wasn't this everywhere? And that always seems to be, like, people's lore complaints with Fallout. It's like, why haven't we seen all of this before in, like, every single Fallout game beforehand? And it's like, maybe it's not super common.
Yeah.
It's like, deal with it.
Also, like, the between bottle caps and paper money type thing. And, like, gold. There's been so many different currencies in Fallout, by the way. Like, it's not just been bottle caps. For sure. But in New Vegas, you get a good idea of, especially because of the war going on, that you get to see the difference in currencies and legal tender.
Yeah. Although I will say, New Vegas, I feel wasted a bit in the fact that you can't actually use the faction currency and stuff as a proper currency. You basically have to translate it into caps by bartering.
Go to a casino, exchange it for chips.
No, that's just an added step to make it caps.
Go to a casino.
Yes, I do that anyway, and then you
exchange
end
it
up
for
with
chips
caps.
and then exchange them back for caps.
Why would you? Yeah, you exchange them for caps. You're just translating, like, Daenerys or Legionary Daenerys, however it is pronounced, into caps with another step in the middle.
Yeah, well, so what?
I want to actually go to the Legion camps, and they don't accept bottle caps. They use their own coins, because that would make some sense.
Sarge, what if you want to play blackjack in the middle?
Then you can still exchange them, potentially, for gambling. Although I don't think you should be able to use the Legion coins for that. I think the Legion coins should only be worthwhile in there, because the whole strip and stuff is currently under NCR control. But then, if afterwards New Vegas actually had an endgame, if the Legion took over, then yeah, you could use the Legion coins in there, because obviously that makes sense. Obsidian, hire me like 20 years ago, please. And I'll just make New Vegas better, because let's face it, the game sucks. I mean, it really needs help.
Caravan sucks! You didn't miss much, NELSAR.
I complained about New Vegas, so now there's lots of angry comments down below.
New Vegas was my favorite game. Take that back.
I'm just pointing out some of the bad points, because, I mean, there's tons. There's just so many.
It's super easy to focus on the bad, isn't it, Sarge?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
You gotta focus on the good, man. You gotta see the good in things.
I will say, I've realised since being like a online person that I'm really good at focusing on the bad stuff when people love something, and really good at focusing on the good stuff when people hate something. And it just means I get people disagreeing with me a lot, and I like it.
So ready to argue the other side.
Yeah, I'm a real devil's advocate. Like, New Vegas gets too much praise in my opinion, so it's easy for me to focus on, well, you're just saying it's the greatest game ever, but that immediately flags up in my mind all of these problems. And then, obviously, 76 people online complain about it, and I'm like, well, a few of the things you said there are wrong, so I can rebut you on that and talk about a few of the good things.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, card games.
I extended it out a little bit. You probably see towards the bottom of our topic that I extended out a little bit to other minigames that exist, because no matter what, I think adding minigames to like skill checks and stuff like that are a good idea as well.
I'm not sure that last sentence made sense. Could you clarify?
Okay. So lockpicking as a base is reliant on skill that your character has with lockpicking. That changes the difficulty of the lock itself, but you still have to manually do it. And that's technically a minigame. It's the same with the hacking mechanic. There's less keywords.
Technically a minigame.
Technically,
I will say. As a basis for minigames, they're not that great.
Yeah.
No. It could be way better.
And then there's the holotape games that can go completely ignored in Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. They're in 76 as well. At least a couple of them.
Yeah, there's some new ones as well.
And they're entire games. They're entire games that you play on your Pip-Boy.
They're actually really cool as well.
Yeah, they are. And because they have no, like, tangible reward, like, in the game you're actually playing, there's way less incentive. Yeah, there's way less incentive to actually, like, do it. And that's one of the things where I guess games like Gwent and others kind of succeed is like you get means to fill out your deck, and also you get like a monetary gain at the same time, and also get to tell the NPC in your face, you know.
Yep. Plus, there's like actual Gwent-related quests.
Yeah,
and a lot of the main characters you come across talk about it.
It's actually really ingrained system into the world that is in the world. People recognize, like the NPCs recognize it.
Yeah. Whereas nobody talks about the holotape games.
Yeah, like there's no NPC in Fallout that comes in like, did you get the next holotape game? Like, that'd be cool. I'd be like, what? Like, oh, it's a quest involved now.
I just played Red Menace and I got this score. Like, or like beat my score and then I'll give you this. Like, see, that'd be cool.
That would be really cool. I think that's something that you could do if in future Fallout games they're a bit more civilized and built up. Because when things do start getting a bit more relaxed for most settlers, they don't have to be constantly working with farm. They can be at the arcade, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because there are arcade machines and stuff. So, you can totally see that as well.
There should definitely be a quest where you fight the ultimate gamer. And you have to beat all his high scores in every game. And then at some point he encounters you. If you beat enough of the scores.
And he's cosplaying as one of the Unstoppables.
There's definitely a lot of fun ways to do it. Like, in my crazy thought pattern, which I cannot fully describe that I was having last night, about like a whole card game thing, I was thinking it similar to the Sunset Sarsaparilla bottle caps in New Vegas, where you have Creepy McCreepface charge at you and tell you about them early on. And I figure you could have something like that as like the opening tutorial. Even same guy, and then he can be like brutally murdered. Yep, he just... I think, as an extra modifier, he should only interrupt you when you sleep. Like, you shouldn't just randomly come across him. He, like, breaks into your fortified settlement as you're asleep and tells you about the card game and explains it, because, you know.
Do you want to play a zombie game? Get out!
But I think you could have a really cool, like, card-based quest where you go and play different people, and maybe he warns you about, like, oh, these people have gone mad trying to get all the cards and stuff, and he's actually the crazy one, and then you get to murder him brutally, because we all want to. But then you could have, like, a unique weapon or item at the end, like you did with the Sunset Sarsaparilla stuff. So I think if there's a reward at the end that's suitably fitting, that can make a whole mini-game go into its own side quest as well, as just being an ingrained part of the entire in-world universe, which just makes it feel natural. And as long as it's fun to play, people will play it and obsess over it.
That is true. Yeah. If you make a good game, people will play it.
Yeah.
Make a good game in your game. People will also play it.
Play the game in your game.
I mean, to be honest, are we done on this topic, do we think? Because I could segue at this point.
Yep, feel free.
Well, I was going to say, I've been playing...
Jesus Christ!
Good segue.
Sorry.
Thanks, Jazzy.
She scared the crap out of me. Jesus. I apologize. That was scary.
That's great.
I was going to say, I've recently gone back to playing The Witcher 3 because I wanted to play Gwent. I wasn't actually that concerned straight away with playing The Witcher 3. I was like, oh, I fancy a few rounds of Gwent. So I installed that game. And for the past couple of days, I've put like 4 or 5 hours in. And I've actually played the standard base game as well, because I was running out of people to play Gwent again, so I wanted to progress the story a bit.
So the real game for you is the Gwent, not the actual killing monsters.
I'm like, there's a whole bunch of characters and stuff. To be honest, what I'm finding really fun as well is I'm being introduced to characters and I'm like, I recognize you from my Gwent deck.
Like, the girl in your universe is a giant nerd. He doesn't even care about Ciri. He just wants card games.
No. I want the Ciri card. I don't care about finding Ciri herself.
It's
I
great.
played against some random merchant with my card as well. Like a Geralt of Rivia card. Like really early on, and I was like, wow! That's really good. I beat him, by the way, because he sucked at the game.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, I want that card. And I can't get it. Not yet. But anyway, yeah. I've been playing The Witcher 3 because of Gwent. I know, Caedo, you've also been playing The Witcher 3.
Yeah. As I mentioned way earlier in the podcast, it's some sort of weird segue thing. I was playing Blood and Wine, the second major expansion with a whole new area. You explore Toussaint and get to work with the duchy and do all kinds of wine-oriented shenanigans with hunting monsters and knights in shining armor and even like tournaments and all kinds of crazy stuff.
I have actually been seeing your achievement feed on Steam, which is giving me like some insights. I'm like, wow, I do not know what that is about. All I know what that one is. I've been like accidentally spying on your Witcher activities.
I think one of the one was the I ended up getting all the Grandmaster diagrams.
Yeah, that was
because
a very
they're all in
recent
Toussaint for some reason.
Oh.
But I ended up getting the cat or feline Grandmaster armor, which is really good. It's really good.
Nice.
But yeah, so I've been playing that, and also Monster Hunter World Iceborne with Nelsar and Kite, and Terry's not in it yet, even though we keep giving him crap. But I played with Lynn and Zetsuna too. Nobody listening actually knows who those people are, but
I was trying to work out if those were real people or in-game people.
But Iceborne, it still has fun disconnection issues.
Woo.
It's fix it.
Fix it.
Game's been out for like almost 2 years now.
When it's not disconnecting you, it is fun.
It is a blast. Yeah.
But if it's consistent and it happens multiple times in like the same span of a couple hours, like it's rage-inducing.
Well, it's based on the day. If you have a good day, it's a fun game.
Yeah.
But there's those certain days where me and Caedo try to get into one match. We can't even find each other on like the session finder.
Like let's like one of the scripted like assignments too. It's like, help me on the Volcano siege. Okay. Volcano's like, nope. Hits me so hard I disconnect.
It's a fun game though. It's definitely. In May they're supposed to finally sync up with the console version. Well, PC and console are going to sync up finally, which is actually a very short time span. I was expecting way longer for us to be caught up with them.
That makes me thankful though, because like exclusivity is cool, I guess. Because I know like the people that we've played with, they own it on both platforms, which is insane. By the way, I like having access to the same things. But again, like Warframe's still doing that.
Are they?
I don't know if that's still a comparison, but yeah, it comes out on PC first, and then they bug fix it, and then they release the console.
So weird. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, Warframe's done that since they came to console, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that's changed. I don't think it's changed. Because it's still technically beta, whereas Monster Hunter World's a full release game.
Yeah.
That feels like a beta when you disconnect. Anyway,
totally.
Both games have been fun. Nelsar mentioned the update to me like right before we started the PIPCAST, because we initially planned on like playing something together, but then I was like, hey, you want to join? So Deep Rock Galactic had a update to its perk system, and I look forward to checking that out too eventually.
Yes, that is going to be exciting because it adds a new RPG element to it.
Yes,
which is always fun.
You get to further customize your dwarf, not just in beard looks, but also in their
perkiness.
Perkiness.
You can change your perkiness.
Yeah. Well, hey,
it's a step up compared to most games.
And the weapon customization too, the visual.
Yeah,
thing.
Are they going to be more in depth with that? Because right now they just change.
They turned
color,
a glitch
right?
into a feature. They saw players that were able to like mix textures and meshes. Like somehow it was just glitching to where like both were showing up on the gun at the same time, and they were like, why don't we just do that for all the guns? and now players can change the color and the mesh, or the color looks and mesh on their guns.
That is a good idea though.
Yeah, just add more customization. It's fun. makes your game more entertaining. And then you can walk into a mission and be like, hey, check out my minigun, it's gold.
And his bullets ricochet everywhere.
Gold! Yeah. So what have you been playing? I mean, I know we reminisce on it. What have you been playing?
I have been playing Escape from Tarkov lately, which is difficult. It's definitely one of those games that if you don't like losing all your stuff on a run that you spent like 100,000 rubles on, don't play it. If you have gear fear, don't play it. Just don't play the game. Because if you want to get better gear, or have a higher chance of getting better gear, you definitely need to invest in a good raid loadout. And that requires you to buy better ammo, which is expensive, like an armor-piercing round. That's like 700 rubles just for a single round. So if we have a assault rifle that goes, and you have 3 magazines, that's 742 rubles times 60. That alone, almost all your investment goes into that ammo.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference. That can that could be the deciding factor between you one-shotting someone or them turning around and shooting you in the head, which has happened to me many times. I can actually show it to you later on. It's like I had a short clip where it's just I shot someone in the back of the head like 5 times, and then they just turned around and shot one tapped me in the dome.
I think I saw. Was it on your
it was on our Discord channel. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, that was stuff like that can happen many times if you're not prepared.
That's funny.
But the game is fun. It has a lot of RPG elements, which I really enjoy. So out of doing raids and getting loot and all that, you can invest in your hideout, which gives you passive perks, like you regenerate health faster, because when you do die in a raid, your character out of the raid is injured still. So they need to recover before they go on the next raid. You don't have to, but it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And also your nutrition is a factor, your hydration is a factor. There's also added a toilet in the hideout, which has no other function besides being another like upgrade gateway. So you have to upgrade that if you want to upgrade something else.
That's weird.
I poop in a bucket right now. So I haven't upgraded the full toilet yet. But it's fun. It's definitely fun. It's investment. I'm still on the first map of the game, and there's like 6 or 7 maps out that I still need to learn. And I've just gotten the layout of the first map I'm playing with my cousin and my uncle, and it's definitely a fun game. Besides that, though, with my other uncle, I've been playing Darksiders Genesis, which is a co-op top-down action RPG Darksiders game, as opposed to the third-person RPG game like Darksiders 2 and Darksiders 1. And it's a lot of fun.
It's been like an evolution of genres. For all 4 of them, I guess.
Yeah, like Darksiders 2 really implemented that action platformer type of deal, and
the RPG stuff.
and the gear and the RPG stuff.
Yeah.
But then, which made the Darksiders 3 disappointing. I didn't even want to play it at that point because it took away a lot of the things that made Darksiders 2 good. I believe. Like
tried to streamline.
Yeah, it turned back into Darksiders 1.
Oh.
And then it wasn't even that entertaining because Fury isn't as entertaining as War or Death. But in Darksiders Genesis, it's fun because you get to play as Strife and War, and it's a co-op game. So one of your buddies can play either or.
You get to bro around.
Yeah, you get to bro around, and their dialogue together is actually really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the dialogue's written really well. But the game has some funny and very annoying glitches and bugs. So let's say you're in a dialogue window, and you would have the characters like on each side of the screen. You would have War talking and Strife talking. Sometimes they would just make both the characters look like War, and Strife's voice would come through, and then he would pop up. It's really goofy sometimes.
That's great.
And also, I think they need to redo the dialogue like text because sometimes it doesn't match up to what the voice actor's saying. So that's also annoying. Yeah. Well, it's just like they would have the line written, but it'd be slightly off, and the voice actor would read a different line. So you'd say like he would say like, "Oh, we'll go to the house next." That would be the written line, and then the voice actor would say, "Let's go to that house."
Let's go over to that house or something like that.
Yeah. So just small stuff like that, which takes you out of the game a little bit, but yeah, it's a fun game. I've gotten stuck on a box. Just I don't know how. I jumped on a box, then got stuck on it, and we had to restart the whole level. Stuff like that can happen, which is very annoying.
Yeah.
But we're almost done with the game, and I think it's like 13 chapters, and we're having a blast so far. The puzzles, there's a lot of puzzles, so many puzzles.
I don't know what to what I've been planning on playing next or doing next either. We can go into the like working on part if we wanted to, I suppose.
I was going to briefly say, just as well, just to slide it in, I've played some more Middle-earth Shadow of War recently, and it is an amazing game, and you should play it if you haven't already, because the Nemesis system is one of the most amazing and brilliant and fantastical things to come to gaming in the last 10 odd years. It is so freaking good.
I agree. I like that a lot. Had a blast with that game.
Same. Well, Shadow of Mordor more so.
Really?
Shadow of War did it better.
Shadow of War is
The second one. Which has a more enhanced Nemesis system and giant forts you can take over. So
it does,
people, like, betray
but
them.
it's launched with problems, and I still identify
It launched with
those
a few
problems.
problems. Oh my god, I hate that. It's like, it is such a freaking amazing game now. Like, even the problems at launch weren't that huge.
They were,
and now
though!
it's just, what?
They were. The
Wait, what problems?
the monetization by your orcs type thing,
Okay, that's entirely gone.
the unnecessary gear system.
That's still there.
What? I don't see the gear system as like an actual problem. I actually like the gear system.
I saw it as an overcomplication of like requiring levels.
Yeah, but
instead
it's
of
really
just
easy to
player
upgrade
skill.
stuff. And it gives like some actual thing. And it doesn't matter that much if you're skilled enough and pay attention to the Nemesis system.
And the
you
Shadow
can even
Wars.
have terrible gear.
And the Shadow,
The Shadow Wars, the end bit, was a bit grindy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. Yeah. Well, it's like if you enjoy it and you pace it out and like, oh, okay, on the weekend I'll just do like one fortress takeover or whatever, and you just spread it out, then it's just lots of fun.
That was part
but
of it
if
too.
you're deciding to like rush through it like a YouTuber, Caedo, then yeah, you're not going to enjoy doing the same thing over and over again.
I also can you turn off the cinematic cameras when the orcs die yet?
I don't know. Why would you want to? It's freaking badass.
Because it takes the camera away from me every time
Yeah,
I'm trying to do something.
That's fair enough. I mean, if you were better, it wouldn't matter, obviously. But I don't know if that's a thing or not.
Yeah, that was like one of my main things. Like the idea of the fortress takeovers was like awesome, but every time my camera like left me, I was like, dude, I'm trying to play.
Can't see.
Yes, I saw my captain just die. Thank you. You could just
Why are you letting your captains die?
like say it or
Man,
something.
you know, if you paid more attention to the Nemesis system, your captains wouldn't die. Just
Yeah.
saying.
But even killing enemies does the same thing. So like it doesn't matter who's dying. It's just that
No,
it's
because you've
annoying.
already recruited all the enemies, because you're paying attention to the Nemesis system.
There are no enemies.
Yep, everyone is
There's
on your
just-
side.
There's just me. But yeah, I like Shadow of Mordor more because of more.
Nah.
Because of the quantity of doors in that game compared to the sequel.
That's good. Things that we're working on, Sarge. You're streaming well. Your return stream.
Yes, and yeah, I did some Fallout 4 survival mode, which probably, by the time you've reached this point in the PIPCAST, there's probably another live stream going on a Fallout 4 survival mode over on my channel right now.
Yeah,
Because I stream I stream Sundays 8 PM UK time, and this comes out at 6 PM UK time, and it's generally like close to 2 hours, so a lot of people often will finish listening to the PIPCAST, then just head over here, or head over there. I'm in two places at once right now, it's a bit confusing. But yeah, I did some Fallout 4 survival mode, made it to Diamond City, which now means I've got the Intelligence Bobblehead, Hangman's Alley, and a bunch of side quests to do all in the next stream. So the stream that's happening today, possibly right now, is going to be pretty action-packed. On top of that, if you enjoy the PIPCAST, but want it with more swearing, Christmas music, and freaky editing, then boy oh boy did I have a video came out 2 days ago from when this goes up, but like half an hour ago from where the real time is. It's called The Studio Sarge Hates Christmas PIPCAST Highlights, where I got Caedo to sit down at a table in Fallout 76 with me and just pull some facial expressions. And I've now edited that with a bunch of old PIPCAST audio from like the PIPCAST we did before Christmas or just after Christmas, around Christmas time. And I've got both of us basically doing facial expressions, and it looks like we're basically sat in a room together recording the PIPCAST as our in-game characters.
Awesome.
So
That's dope.
it's only 5.5 minutes as well, because I basically just went through all of the stuff where we were like arguing or swearing.
It's a lot of work,
Yeah.
too.
Do be warned as well, there's some very bad language at the start, because I am terrible and Caedo has to edit me out sometimes.
I want to see it. I want to see it now. We got to wrap this up then.
Yeah. Yeah. I got on with that. I'm obviously covering Fallout 76 as well, so if you like Fallout in any way, it's probably worth checking out my channel.
Yes. Okay, so I had worked on the Gwent guide and stuff like that. May do another Witcher guide. I'm not sure. I'm kind of done with the game now, so, and that's like an integral part of me making guides is still playing the game. But I do have other like 10 best or strongest weapons weapons lists to go up still that I'm working on. The next one's probably going to be explosives in New Vegas, which is a lot of fun. Explosives are fun. I've saved my favorites for last. So it's explosives and then unarmed weapons. That's something you could just expect on my channel now, I guess, because they're doing so incredibly well. And then if there's any matching like trending topic or something like that, like The Witcher 3, that I'm like, oh, I like this a lot, I'm gonna make something on it, then you can probably expect that too. If that happens again in that same fashion, it will never. It will never. The volume that The Witcher was searched after the Netflix series came out and played, like there's no actual comparison historically. Yeah, NELSAR, where can people find you if they want to hear your beautiful voice?
If you want to hear my beautiful voice,
how do we break into your house and listen to you breathing whilst you sleep?
Pretty easy. Let me give you my zip code. And then, well, I do have a couple videos actually of what I sort of do, which is on my Instagram. So if y'all want to check me out, you could look for @NELSAR_Jazzy. So you can check me out there. I usually write my own stuff. I'm gonna get more into playing my keyboard, which I need to do because I want to get better at it. And on top of that, I've been becoming a little like an amateur wine connoisseur, because that's what my job entails. And my job entails me to have to sell wine.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
so I need to know what I'm talking about. So I've been trying out a bunch of different wines, doing my own wine tastings and all that. And I've just been writing it down in my journal.
Dude.
And yeah, it's been fun. I'm starting to get a grasp of what wine actually is, as opposed to like, oh, it's just grape juice that makes you drunk. So,
It gives the worst hangover.
I know, it gives terrible hangovers. But yeah, it's good for my job because I'd rather be able to know what I'm talking about when I'm selling something to someone, rather than lying through my teeth.
Yeah, that's just generally a good thing to do. Like, not a requirement, but you become more successful because you decide that you want to learn more.
Yeah,
That's
and
a
it makes
good
me
thing.
feel good.
Yeah, that too. Wait, the wine or the learning?
Both.
Okay, good. Awesome.
So it's been good. That's about it though. I'm gonna start posting it on my Instagram because I've gotten a lot of song ideas lately to write down. So I've just been in the mood. So you're gonna see a lot of videos of me singing there, and yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Yeah. Well, that's it for PIPCAST episode 28, I suppose. Thank you to Wasteland Legend Sven. I don't ever do that, but I'm doing it now. He's been a Wasteland Legend tier supporter for ages now. Thanks to all the people on the Patreon supporting us on the channel. Sarge has his own patrons as well that support him. If you wish to join either of our patrons, I'm pretty sure those are going to be linked below too, to keep our channels going. That's part of the thing. Like, we are both full-time, me and Sarge. So any support is more than welcome, even as little as sharing the PIPCAST to whoever is willing to listen and converse with us. So with that, we'll catch you in a couple weeks with the next PIPCAST 3000 with some cool news topics. Hopefully some good ones, kind of like the ones we had today. Hope you all take care.